recent relationship breakup is believed to be behind the murder of a young woman inside prestigious St Andrew's Cathedral School in the city last night. Lilie James was just 21, the school's water polo coach. Tonight, her 24-year-old ex-boyfriend is missing, with police continuing to search for him.
She was something special. Her kindness, her loyalty to people, just the gentlest person.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're heading down under to explore a case that rocked an entire community in Australia. It's a story about hidden dangers, shattered trust, and how quickly life can turn upside down. Let's dive in. In the heart of Sydney, nestled behind the imposing sandstone walls of St Andrew's Cathedral School, long celebrated for its academic excellence and secure environment, an unfathomable tragedy occurred on October 25, 2023. The shocking loss of 21-year-old Lilie James would send ripples through this prestigious institution and the entire nation, compelling Australians to confront unsettling realities about domestic violence and the many faces that dangerous individuals can present. That Wednesday evening, as spring sunlight faded over the city, no one could have imagined the school's gymnasium would become the backdrop for such horror. The killing of this vibrant young woman by her ex-boyfriend, 24-year-old Paul Tyson, revealed just how effectively someone can conceal a threatening nature behind a veneer of charm, respectability, and achievement. Even more chillingly, it demonstrated how swiftly a personal rejection could erupt into lethal violence when fueled by deep-seated narcissistic rage. This case raises stark and urgent questions. How could a once celebrated sports coach and former student become a killer? Were there warning signs that went unnoticed? And perhaps most disturbingly, how many other individuals like Paul Tyson might be moving unnoticed through our communities? To fully grasp the depth of the tragedy that struck on that October evening, one must first understand the remarkable young woman at its center, Lilie James. By all accounts, she was a life force, radiating energy, optimism, and the kind of infectious enthusiasm that brightened every room she entered. Lilie was hardworking. She loved being involved, recalls her father, Jamie James. She could be a little nosy sometimes, but it was only because she wanted to make people's days better, whether through a smile or a quick chat. This drive to lift others up was no mere quirk. It formed the very foundation of her life's path. Even at just 21 years old, Lilie had already built a resume brimming with roles that emphasized service and guidance. From teaching swimming and dance to coaching water polo and netball, she saw each position not as a job, but as an opportunity to inspire others. Her boundless energy often puzzled her mother, who would wonder aloud, where does she get it all from? The answer, those close to Lilie joked, was simple: chocolate and ice cream. Her sweet tooth was as much a part of her vivacious spirit as her tireless dedication to others. Yet Lilie stood for something even greater. A rising generation of young women encouraged to be independent, self-assured, and clear about their personal boundaries. She carried these values into every aspect of her life, including the brief relationship that would tragically lead to her death. In 2023, Lilie added yet another role to her already impressive roster of responsibilities, joining St Andrew's Cathedral School as a water polo coach. It seemed like an ideal position, one that combined her passion for sports with her natural gift for teaching. The school community quickly took to her, drawn by her enthusiasm and dedicated work ethic. Among her new colleagues was Paul Tyson, a 24-year-old sports coach who had returned to his alma mater in 2020. His reputation preceded him. He was a celebrated former student, now coming back to mentor the next generation. On paper, he exemplified everything St Andrews hoped to instill in its graduates. When their professional relationship evolved into a casual romance about 5 weeks before her passing, both Lilie and Paul appeared to handle it with a level-headed maturity. In what would turn out to be a heartbreakingly telling conversation, Lilie confided to her mother, "Mom, we both agreed at the very start that neither of us wanted anything serious. We just wanted to have fun, and once it had run its course, we'd go our separate ways." This pragmatic approach echoed everything people admired in Lilie: thoughtfulness, open communication, and firm personal boundaries. She was never hesitant to express what she wanted, her mother remembers, and she always tried to understand what others wanted too. Friends who met Paul during this brief relationship saw nothing out of the ordinary. One of Lilie's closest companions describes him as just a very chatty guy after meeting him at her home 2 weeks before the tragedy. He was polite, well-spoken, just a normal, regular guy. 1 week before Lilie's death, she and Paul decided to end their relationship on what appeared to be the same mature terms they had established from the start. According to a close friend, they just decided they wanted to be friends. She said it was pretty mutual. No one saw any warning signs. No one sensed the anger quietly brewing beneath Paul Tyson's carefully maintained facade. No one could have predicted that what seemed like a peaceful parting of ways would set off such devastating consequences. In the days leading up to the tragedy, Lilie continued her usual routine: teaching, coaching, studying, and spending quality time with friends and family. On the morning of October 25th, her father Jamie watched her eat breakfast in her familiar, carefree way, noting how she seemed off in her own little world. These seemingly ordinary moments, a daughter enjoying toast, a father checking the train schedule, a routine Wednesday morning, would soon become cherished memories, frozen by the unthinkable violence that was just hours away. That Wednesday unfolded like any other. Until around 7 p.m., Lilie headed into the school gymnasium's bathroom to change for water polo practice, unaware of the danger closing in. At that moment, Paul Tyson, armed with a hammer and harboring 3 days of pent-up anger over their breakup, followed her inside. What happened next was disturbingly violent. Forensic psychologist Dr. Peter Ashar later described the attack as unbridled and relentless, suggesting a level of anger that smacks of hate, callousness, psychopathy to a degree. After Lilie's death, Tyson's actions took an even darker turn. At around 8:30 p.m., over an hour later, Lilie's father, Jamie, received a text message from her phone. "Come to school, trouble." Driven by a father's instinct, Jamie raced to the school, finding Lilie's desk, bag, and pass still in place. He briefly entered the area near the gym but stopped short of venturing further. Looking back, he's grateful for that small mercy. "I'm glad I didn't go a little further," he admits, the weight of what he might have discovered lingering in the air. As the night wore on, police and emergency personnel arrived, and the awful truth began to emerge. It was Jamie who had to break the news to Lilie's mother, Peta, a moment he will never forget. "I'll remember that instant for the rest of my life," he says quietly. "The reality that she would never walk through our door again, it will haunt me forever." After carrying out the murder, Paul Tyson's subsequent actions revealed both a calculated mindset and a troubling sense of detachment. Later, CCTV footage would show him strolling calmly through Sydney's streets, pausing to throw personal items into a public bin, a location that would become a key part of the investigation. For nearly 2 hours, he sat alone in his car, eventually placing an anonymous call to the police to inform them they would find Lilie's body in the school gymnasium. The shocking violence of the crime, paired with the careful planning in its aftermath, painted a portrait not of someone who simply snapped, but of a person who, as Dr. Peter Ashar explained, had allowed rejection to fuel a lethal narcissistic rage. Far from cooling off in the days following the breakup, Tyson's anger had only intensified, culminating in this devastating act. The investigation into Lilie James's death would soon unearth not only the chilling details of her final moments, but also a deeper pattern of behavior that had gone mostly unnoticed by those around Paul Tyson. As detectives pieced together what happened on October 25th, 2023, they would discover that behind his carefully maintained image of respectability lay a troubling history of obsession and control. When authorities first arrived at St. Andrew's Cathedral School that Wednesday night, they were responding to an anonymous tip, later linked back to Tyson himself, claiming a body would be found in the gymnasium. Lilie's father, Jamie James, was already on site, frantically searching for his daughter after receiving that cruel text message sent from her phone. All of a sudden, the police arrived, then the ambulance. Jamie recalls of those tense moments. You start getting bits of information, you start showing photos to the officers. As investigators processed the scene, their discovery painted a grim picture of a brutal assault, one that would shatter any illusions about who Paul Tyson really was. One of the most crucial pieces of evidence emerged from CCTV footage documenting Tyson's movements after the murder. In what investigators would later describe as a calculated sequence of actions, cameras tracked him walking through Sydney's streets and stopping at a bin to dispose of certain items. The chosen location for this disposal would prove to be anything but a coincidence. The bin happened to be located directly across from the home of Christina Avas, one of Lilie's closest friends. Christina's own security camera captured Tyson's actions that night, offering a chilling insight. "I had detectives come over to review my camera footage," she recalls. "I recognized him straight away. It's deeply unsettling. No one ever expects to be caught up in something like this." Through painstaking investigative work, authorities were able to construct a clear timeline of the tragic events. Early morning, Lilie shares breakfast with her family and heads off to work, following her usual routine. Around 7 p.m., Lilie enters the gymnasium bathroom to change for water polo practice. Shortly after 7 p.m., Paul Tyson follows her into the bathroom, carrying a hammer. Approximately 8:30 p.m., Tyson uses Lilie's phone to send a misleading text to her father. Later that night, Tyson disposes of evidence and places an anonymous call to the police. Friday morning, Tyson is found deceased, having ended his own life. As investigators delved deeper into Paul Tyson's history, they found that his public persona as a respected sports coach and model citizen concealed a far darker reality. A breakthrough came when a former girlfriend, who requested anonymity for her own safety, shared a disturbing account of Tyson's obsessive and controlling behavior. "He was, I would say, pretty obsessive," she explained. "He always needed constant attention, wanted to know my location, insisted on being featured in my Facebook and Instagram profile pictures." Her story included unsettling incidents that hinted at an underlying capacity for violence. After one attempted breakup, she witnessed Tyson punch a tree in frustration, telling her ominously that he "can't punch the one thing I want to." His behavior escalated to stalking, with the ex-girlfriend spotting him outside her home at daybreak on several occasions, an unsettling pattern she described as unhinged and deranged. Forensic psychologist Dr. Peter Ushar's review of the case evidence pointed to a pattern aligning with narcissistic personality disorder. His sense of being rejected led to a profound narcissistic injury, Dr. Ushar explained. He felt degraded, humiliated, and that sparked an overwhelming wave of anger and emotion that built into his rage. This professional insight helped investigators make sense of the 3-day gap between Lilie ending the relationship and the night of the crime. Rather than cooling off, Tyson's anger appeared to intensify during that period. Dr. Ushar described what unfolded as cold, planned, and calculated violence. Digital forensics would uncover yet another layer of Tyson's calculated actions in the hours following Lilie's death. An analysis of her phone confirmed that he had used it to send the deceptive message to her father, a grim detail that underscored the premeditated nature of the crime. Coupled with CCTV evidence and witness statements, this digital footprint solidified the conclusion that Tyson acted with chilling deliberation rather than in a sudden moment of anger. The legal aftermath of Lilie James's murder grew more complex when Paul Tyson passed away by his own hand, leaving many questions unanswered and a sense of justice that felt painfully unfinished. Yet, as legal proceedings moved forward, they offered critical insights on how to recognize warning signs and potentially avert such tragedies in the future. A coronial inquest scheduled for March 2025 will serve as the main legal forum to examine the circumstances of Lilie's death. Because Paul Tyson passed away by his own actions, there will be no criminal trial, but the inquest aims to explore whether this tragedy could have been prevented and what systemic measures might be implemented to protect others in the future. For Lilie's parents, Peta and Jamie James, the inquest represents both a potential source of answers and a heart-wrenching reminder of their loss. "We're left with so many questions we could have asked him," Jamie reflects. "I'm not saying he would have answered, but only he knew the details of that night." Andrews Cathedral School, where both Lilie and Tyson had been employed, released a comprehensive statement in the wake of the tragedy. The school emphasized its commitment to reviewing and tightening its hiring protocols, while also introducing added security measures for staff members working evening hours. The broader impact of this case has led many educational institutions across Australia to re-examine their own safety procedures and the vetting process for former students who return to work in positions of trust. Perhaps the most significant outcome of this case, both legally and socially, has been the clearer identification of red flags that, in hindsight, foreshadowed Tyson's violent potential. His former girlfriend's testimony proved especially pivotal in tracing the path from controlling behaviors to deadly aggression. Warning signs that emerged: obsessive behavior, constant demands for location sharing, insistence on appearing in her social media profiles, overwhelming need for attention and control. Escalating actions, physical aggression, ominous threats, stalking. Reaction to rejection, inability to accept a relationship's end. Extreme emotional outbursts in response to perceived slights. An intensification of concerning behavior following breakups. According to forensic psychologist Dr. Peter Ashar, these behaviors align with classic indicators of narcissistic personality disorder, combined with a capacity for violence. It's cold, it's planned, it's calculated. It's not that he snapped. The rejection caused him to experience that narcissistic injury. 2 years have passed since the tragic loss of Lilie James, yet the impact still resonates through the lives of everyone who knew and loved her. Beyond the immediate heartbreak, her death raises deeper questions about trust, safety, and the hidden risks that can exist within seemingly ordinary relationships. Inside the James family home, Lilie's bedroom remains precisely as she left it on that final October morning in 2023. "We haven't even made the bed." Her mother, Peta, explains, her voice weighed down by emotion. "When she got up that day, we just left everything the way it was." This untouched space serves both as a source of comfort and a stark reminder. Peta often finds herself in Lilie's room, morning and night, definitely, sometimes even during the day. Complicating the family's grief is Peta's battle with melanoma, diagnosed shortly before Lilie's passing. "I have melanoma in both lungs," she says, "and possibly a lymph node or two. I'm doing immunotherapy once a month." Despite these health challenges, Peta remains determined to stay strong for her loved ones. "I don't want to make this situation any worse than it already is. If I were to fall apart, it would just heighten their pain." For Lilie's close group of friends, her death has fundamentally changed their sense of security and trust. One friend admits, "For about a month afterward, I couldn't sleep in my own bed. I felt like I was a kid again, staying in my mom's room. I'd never felt scared like that before." Her absence has also affected how they approach new relationships. Another friend explains, "I'm in a relationship now, but I always think, if I wasn't and I met someone after Lilie's passing, I wouldn't know how to do it. How do you even meet someone naturally, like we used to, when something like this has happened?" Even 2 years later, the memory of Lilie James continues to shape the lives of those she left behind, reminding them of both the fragility of life and the importance of cherishing every moment. That's all I have for you in this episode. If you found it interesting, please consider subscribing, leaving a like, and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe. Bye-bye.